So for chapter 10, he gives you, at the beginning of the homework, just an opportunity to practice writing down those first, second, and third declension case endings, so we don't really need to go over that. Have some parsing, though, and you might have some questions about this. So let me know. What do you want to look at for the parsing questions here? Okay. Yep. So we understand haste me a hen now. Let's real quickly just look at number 4 here. So there's actually how many possibilities for how to parse that one? Yeah. Sort of surprised because he usually tells you when there's more than one possibility on a form like this with multiple genders and whatnot. But so what's the Omicron sigma there? Ah, that's a genitive case ending. Unless the case ending is a sigma and the Omicron is a stem vowel. Now, that's not entirely out of the question, is it? Logos is a noun just like that. Okay? So if you were ever just completely stuck there, maybe it's a word you don't know, then you'd have to look it up in the lexicon and say, okay, can I find a word, henos, that is the lexical form? And you wouldn't. Okay? Then you'd know, okay, this can't be a word like logos, that's nominative singular masculine. So in that case, the case ending has got to include that omicron. It's not just the sigma, it's the omicron sigma, and therefore my stem ends with a consonant, and it's what declension pattern? Third declension, right? And what's that coming from? Well, if you know your genitive case endings, then it's haste and henos, right? Haste, mia, hen. What are my possibilities? We said it was genitive. We said it was singular. That's right. The masculine and neuter forms are both third declension. This is a 3-1-3 pattern. All right? And in the genitive and the dative, masculine and neuters are the same. All right?
So the lexical form is
It's, I would like to encourage you to give the lexical form as all three. Haste me a hen. Haste me a hen. Technically, if it's masculine, the nominative form is haste, and if it's neuter, the nominative form is hen. So may as well stick mia in there. Okay, now for number 7, we have henna. So that alpha, you know, hen is the real consonantal stem, then that alpha must be the case ending. What are my possibilities here? First of all, I have to know what declension pattern this is. Is this first, second, or third declension? It's third because the consonant is the end of the stem. And then, if I look at my third declension case endings, where do I have alpha? All by itself. Accusative, singular. Okay, so we got to think through that. It could be accusative, singular, masculine, right? Or, there's one other possibility, or actually 2 others. It could be nominative, plural, and neuter, or accusative, plural, neuter. Okay? Now here's the deal. You need to make sure that you keep these separate, right? You can't just give me accusative, nominative, accusative in any order, singular and plural in any order, and masculine, neuter in any order. Because this couldn't be, for example, nominative, singular, masculine, right? So you might want to draw a line here so that we know the accusative singular belongs with masculine. The nominative and accusative plural belong with neuter. Okay?
so those are correct.
So yes, those are possibilities.
Because on the answer key in his, he gives it as only an accusative, singular, masculine.
Oh, really?
And his lexical form was lexical form
Ah.
was that one.
Yeah.
You look at 10.2.
Yep.
10.12.
If you look at your paradigm, You see henna for the neuter plural, don't you? Nominative and accusative. So it really is 3 possible answers here. Okay. No. So you got this. Well, congratulations. If I had a cigar, I'd give you one. Yeah, I'd only be able to afford Swisher Sweets for you, though. So, all right. Yeah. So good job, Sean. Yeah, you actually would have been right. Okay. Any other questions? So number 5, soma, right? Yeah, so what gender is this? It's neuter. So anytime you have neuter, you've always got the possibility that nominative and accusative are the same. Right? Soma here, here's an interesting question. Is the alpha of soma here, is that the accusative and neuter, the nominative and accusative neuter plural alpha? That's right. It's not the case ending, is it? This is actually part of the noun stem that should have had a tau, and then case endings get tacked on after that, okay? And the tau has dropped out. So what does that tell you about this form? Yeah, it's singular. The case ending 0 was added to the tau. I keep wanting to do Hebrew here. It's added to the tau. And then the tau has fallen out here. So this is, well, if it's neuter, it's singular, right? And what are my 2 neuter singular forms that have no case ending? Nominative and accusative. Okay?
So the lexical form would be soma?
Yeah, it's actually the lexical form is soma, but the real stem is somat. But remember, the lexical form is always the nominative case form. Right? And in third declension nouns, that nominative case form is often obscured from what it really is. What's the genitive look like? Genitive singular of soma? Somatos. Tau, omicron, sigma. Yep. Okay. Good. What about number 1? Look at sarki here. Can you see a case ending here? The iota. Good. So we'll bracket that out. I'm left with sark. So what declension pattern is that? Third declension. Good. The iota is dative, singular. And which gender takes an iota for the singular? All of them do. So I can say this is masculine, feminine, or neuter, right? No, because there's only one article with this noun. It's a noun, right? So it's hey, sarks. So which one of these is my real gender? Feminine. That's right. So theoretically, that iota could be any, but not with sark. Sark is feminine.
Well, looking at what he gave us just there, you couldn't tell.
Right, no, and that's the thing. You cannot tell the gender just by looking at this form or by looking at sarks. No way to tell. But you should always know sarks is feminine. Hey, sarks. Always memorize your article with your noun. Hey, sarks. Ha, lagos. Hey, sarks. Okay? Ta, pneuma, and so forth. Now, I want to contrast that with number 9 real quickly. We have sarxi. The iota must be the case ending here, right? Oh, sigma iota. There's no sigma here, is there? Here's where you have to do a little bit of deconstruction, okay? So, hat tip to postmodernism. Let's deconstruct in a godly way. What do we have? The xi is a product of 2 fulls colliding, right? Sigma is always one of the culprits. But what plus a sigma equals a xi? Yeah, it could be a Kappa, gamma, or chi, right? So any velar plus a sigma. So that's where you got to ask yourself, is my form sarg, sark, or sarch? Which one of those looks like the genitive singular that you have come to know and love when you learned this nominative lexical form? It's definitely sarkos, right? So you want to go with the kappa here, sarkos. Okay, but that is obscured by this C, so you got to be able to work backwards here when you have something that doesn't look like what it really should be, because there is no case ending C, is there? Only half of this represents the case ending, the sigma part. Okay, great. Anything else we can deconstruct?
Wait a minute, we need to finish number 9.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, so what is the case ending? The case ending is not xi, it's C, which is dative, plural. And which genders? Well, technically all three in the third declension can have a C for dative plural, but it's a noun, so it can only have one gender. And sarx is feminine. So I want to put an F there. Again, I don't mind if you write the article here. Hey, sarx, right? And how am I going to translate this? Dative plural. Yeah, probably want to use bodies since it's plural. So to, in, or with bodies. Okay? As opposed to fleshes. All right. Any other questions about the parsing? Let's look at the warm-ups. What can we talk about here? Okay, so beta. Let's read this together in unison. Ready? Tain, agapein, tain, eis, pantos, tous, hagius. Now, I should jump up and down and scream about this. Is that the word one? That's right. This is not the word one. This is the preposition. What's the difference between one and the preposition? Okay, yes, it's rough breathing versus smooth. And there's the circumflex on the number one. Haste. Ace. Okay, this is ace, smooth breathing. Preposition. All right, so good. So, the, love, the, to, all, the saints. The love, the all, the love, the to all the saints. You didn't leave your translation that way, did you? So this is that situation where we have article plus prepositional phrase. Okay? And you're going to probably want to translate it with a relative clause in English. Who, with a who, which, or that clause. The love which is to all the saints, or which is for all the saints. Something like that. Yeah. So this is all accusative case. So there should be like, I don't know, a sentence like, and send love to all the saints, or something like that. Or excel in the love the to all the saints. Yeah. And you wouldn't really know what the best way is to render that ace without actually knowing what verb goes with this. So it is a bit of a nuisance to have such a truncated thing here to work with, because on the face of it, it doesn't have a whole lot of meaning in English, does it? But I want you to see the grammar. Now, the other thing you need to see is pantos is one of our new words. What declension pattern is this following? It's third declension. I've got pont. Remember, pont is my stem, and then I'm adding the alpha sigma. What case ending in the third declension is alpha sigma? Accusative, plural. And what gender? Masculine or feminine. But you know something about pontas? It's from pas, pasapon. And pasas, the feminine form, what declension pattern does it follow? It follows first declension. And since this is a third declension noun, it cannot be feminine here, can it? It's got to be the masculine form. How do I know it can't be neuter? That's right, the neuter would be panta. There is no neuter third declension case ending that has an alpha and a sigma together. Go back and check your chart. What are the neuter forms? It's nothing, os, e, nothing, a, own, si, a, right? There's no alpha sigma in that neuter column. So this can only be masculine. Now, we have confirmation here, don't we? Because it accompanies the article and the noun with accusative, plural, masculine case endings, doesn't it? And remember, pas, pasapon has to occur in the predicate position, meaning it will occur either before the article and noun or after the article and noun, but not in between, and it will never be articular, but you're going to translate it as if it were attributive to all the saints, okay? Or to every saint, and even, well, this is plural, so we'll just use all. All right? Now, this article plus the prepositional phrase is functioning attributively, so that's in an attributive position. So there's some interesting things going on here. This is an adjective. How's it functioning? It's the adjective means holy. Yes, it's a substantival adjective, right? Lots of stuff happening here with our adjectives. Okay, great. Other questions?
But it's functioning as a noun, though, right? We call it.
Yes, so it's an adjective that has a substantival function, meaning it functions like a noun does. All right? Delta. So I have tenon. Where's my accent? Is it on the iota or not? No. So which tis is this? Is this the interrogative tis or the indefinite tis? It is indefinite. So you're going to want to translate that as some or any, right? Okay. Now what case is it? It's genitive. Is there anything genitive that it accompanies that it might go with? Yeah, we have anthropon, right? So we're going to keep these together. Now, hi hamartia is what? It's the sins. Now look, I've got genitive noun and indefinite tis before a noun. Is there anything that forces this to be genitive? Are there any prepositions here that require the genitive case? No. That means that I might have a situation where I have a head noun that actually comes after the genitive noun that's in a genitive relationship with it. You should be accustomed to seeing head noun, genitive noun after. Okay, but sometimes that genitive noun comes before the head noun. In translation, you're not going to want to put your genitive noun first. You want to put the head noun. So it'll be the sins of tenon anthropon. Yes, the sins of some people, or the sins of some men. Okay? Otherwise, it's going to sound funny. Of some men, the sins. Right? That does not work. Not in English, anyway. Okay? So that's head noun, genitive noun. All right. Other questions? Let's look at zeta real quickly. I'll just read this. Tennis esin hoi ado foi mu. If you don't see that semicolon, which functions as the question mark, your translation will be off, okay? Because the accent's on the iota here, so this is an interrogative word, which means it's asking a question. Now, look at the epsilon sigma after the 10. You've learned 10 is the stem, so what case ending is the epsilon sigma? Nominative, plural, masculine, or feminine, right? But given the context, I've got hoi adelphoi, so that's probably masculine, right? So, how am I going to translate this? Yeah, who are. Who are. So, it's nominative because it's the subject, right? Who are hoi adelphoi mu? Who are the brothers of me? That is to say, who are my bros? Okay? Good. Who are my brothers? Alrighty. Shall we move on to the translation work? All right. Any particular ones give you fits?
Oh, number 3. Just you had a note on here, but it should be what good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch how to get that.
Well, think about what agathon is. Is that a noun or an adjective? It's an adjective. Does this adjective have a noun that it accompanies and agrees with in case, gender, number? No. So here, this adjective is functioning like a noun. Right. Yep. It's a substantival adjective. So it's what good neuter thing, right? This is the idea. Agathon could be could be masculine, couldn't it? If it's masculine, just looking at that new case ending here, if it were masculine, it would be what case and number? Accusative, singular masculine, right? But a new after an omicron could also be neuter, in which case it could be nominative or accusative, singular neuter, right? Now, this is what's going to commit me to one gender or the other. Is T masculine, feminine, or neuter? It's neuter. Remember, my two possible forms are tis and T, which is just a two-termination set. Tis is always masculine or feminine. T is neuter. So if I have the T, it's neuter. And that commits me to not accusative singular masculine, but one of these. Now, can you, given the context, tell me whether it's nominative or accusative? Yes, because if it were nominative, the T agathon would be the subject. What good thing does something? But the good thing is not doing anything, because he's told you this verb is I must do. I am the subject here, not the good thing. Therefore, the good thing must be the object, okay? And so I'm going to be able to even narrow this down and make it accusative singular neuter. Even though theoretically it could have been all three of these possibilities. In context, it's usually easy to figure, well, I don't want to say it's easy to figure it out. If you think about it, you can figure it out. Okay?
You translate that as just what good must I do? That would be fine.
Well, when you have a substantival use of the adjective and you leave it all by itself, often in English, we sort of default to a plural understanding, right? Like if I say the good came, that means the good ones, plural, right? Although, I suppose saying what good, their good is being used sort of as an abstract noun. So you could say what good, I guess what good, or what good thing, though, I think is more of what we would think of, I think, when we're thinking of this passage. Yeah. So what good thing must I do in order that I might inherit? Zoane Ionion. What gender is Zoane? Feminine. Ha! What gender is Ionion? It's either masculine or feminine, and because it follows this feminine noun and agrees with it in case, gender, and number, it must be. It's the feminine form of the ambivalent indeterminate one, right? So this is feminine, feminine. And they're accusative and singular too, aren't they? Yeah. That's actually related to echo. It's actually an aorist active subjunctive verb. Past, it is what people think of, but outside of the indicative mood, it's not past at all. And we'll work on that next semester. All right. Any other questions?
Number 10.
Oh, good. This is a short one.
Yeah, I forget what the answer was, but mine came out different than what.
Mm-hmm.
So, toys, pasin, gegona, panta.
That's right.
Okay, I got toys pasin to each, and then it says I have become panta all. So I came up to each I have become all.
Well, that's pretty close. Okay, so gegona is a linking verb or a copular verb. And so that means that we're going to have a subject and we're going to have a predicate nominative, and both will be in the nominative case. Okay? What's the subject here? Subject's I, right? And that's built into the verb. It's sort of baked in there. So I have become, and then panta is going to be nominative. It's what I have become. So I am something, I become something. That's going to be nominative case. So look at panta for a moment. That alpha after the pont could be three different things in your third declension case endings, can't it? The alpha could be accusative, singular, masculine. Why am I not saying feminine here? Because the feminine form of pos is first declension, not third declension, right? Follows the 3-1-3 pattern. So it's accusative, singular, masculine, or it's nominative / accusative, plural, neuter. Now, if I know that predicate nominative has to be nominative case, there's only one possibility for this, isn't there? It's got to be nominative, plural, and neuter. So just looking at gegona panta, how would I want to translate that to reflect the neuter plural idea? I have become all neuter plural things, right? So I have become all things. So we're going to add things there to reflect that neuter plurality, all right? I've become all things. Now, what's fronted up here, and this is a marked position. I would expect this dative to be after, okay, but it's been brought forward before the verb, so that does prominence this, and it fits Paul's argument, if you remember what Paul's saying. I've sacrificed many of my freedoms so that for passing, I have become everything, okay? Now, what do we have here? The toys tells you it's what? Case, gender, and number. This one's easy, right? So it's dative plural. What are my possibilities for gender? Could it be feminine? No. Could it be masculine? Could it be neuter? Yeah, actually it could, couldn't it? All right, good. What about passen? Mm-hmm. Could that be, is that a masculine, feminine, or neuter form? It's masculine. Or neuter, right? Genitive and dative forms, the masculine and neuter are Going to have the same endings. So, and tois, going with passen, matches, right? They're both the same. So this could be dative plural masculine or neuter. Now, do I have any nouns that this article and this adjective agree with? No. So it's doing the same thing as what this adjective was doing over here, right? In that there's no noun that's nominative, plural, and neuter that it agrees with, so it is a substantival use in both cases, right? I have become all things for all things. Probably not things, right? But for all people, or for all men, or to all men. So even though either could work in terms of the form, generally, he's not doing this for the benefit of things. He's doing this for the benefit of people that he wants to win for Christ, right? All right. On the other hand, what he's become has respect to things he has given up in terms of the freedoms he has. So, and the grammatical form commits us to a neuter idea here. All right, so does that help, David? Okay. Well, we have 7 minutes. We can go through a few more of these and just hold off looking at chapter 11 material for now. Any other questions? Okay, let's do 5. Oh, that's a short one. All right, let's read this together. Ready? Kai hagion ta anama autu. All right. So, do I have any verbs here? No. So chances are I have a missing copula or a null copula where I need to add is, are, was, or were. Right? Well, what do I have? I have kai. How might you translate kai? And other possibilities? Yeah, also or even. So without any context, we don't exactly know, but we'll start with and we'll just see if it makes sense. Hagion. What kind of a word is that? It's an adjective. And when it's an adjective, you need to be thinking 3 possibilities: predicate, attributive, substantival, right? Let's look at the new here. What are my possibilities for a new ending with an omicron stem? Accusative, singular, masculine, or nominative or accusative, singular, neuter, right? Okay. Now, look at what else I've got. Ta anima. What gender is that? That is neuter, isn't it? So which one of these two might be what I'm looking at? The first parsing or the second? Yeah, I've got a neuter possibility, okay? So, remember, if I have a null copula, we'll go ahead and use is or are for our possibility. These are both singular, right? Okay, so I'm probably going to go with is. Something is something. What's articular, as a rule, is usually the subject in a copular sentence. What's non-articular or anarthrous is usually the predicate adjective or the predicate nominative. So hagion, is that anarthrous? Yeah, so I'm going to be thinking that that's a predicate adjective. Something is holy. What is holy? This is looking like my subject, right? The name is holy. Now, the name is qualified by a genitive pronoun. The name of whom? The name of him is holy. And we would maybe render that as his name is holy. Okay? So my guess is that this is probably Mary's song in Luke. And holy is his name. He tells you where these things come from, by the way, when you go to the very end of your homework. So if you look up number 5, it'll probably be Luke 2. Luke 2, right? That is Luke 2. Yeah, I know. It's 1 or 2.
You go through the end, or you can do all of it, but just towards the end of 6.
Yeah.
The name is here.
Yeah, so L again, he tells you, in context, he, Jesus, was speaking. Here's one of our new prepositions. Peri plus the genitive means concerning or about. So it indicates the topic of speech. So he was speaking about or concerning tunau, the temple, of his body. Literally, the temple of the body of him. Okay, so we take that as possessive of body. So the temple of his body. Now, this is sort of interesting, but the question is how does this genitive phrase here relate to the temple? This is genitive because peri requires the genitive case. This is genitive because it's in a genitive relationship with the head noun. Okay? But what sort of genitive is this? This is what would be called a genitive of apposition. That is to say, this genitive noun is basically restating or recharacterizing the head noun and explaining what it is. It would be like saying the city of Philadelphia. The city which is Philadelphia. The temple of his body is the temple which is his body. Okay? So that's the genitive use there.
Speaking concerning the temple, which is
Right. They thought he was talking about Herod's temple. He was talking about the temple of his body. Exactly. All right. 1 minute. Any other ones? Do you feel like masters of the chapter? You are third declension geniuses?
Axel's already on the 4th declension.
Or do you feel like your minds are in declension right now? All right. Well, you have a week to recover.